What's up, viewer? Speedy Blue Dude, aka Luis M here, and this is episode 1 of Dreaming Podcast. I've got my co-host Gardner D with me right here, and we're just going to talk about games and our lives and just stuff in general, so come on and join us.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, I'm just going to talk for about 30 minutes. So, let's start off with a casual tone. Let's talk about movies. Any movie in particular you want to talk about, Gardner?
Oh my god, yeah, dude. I saw the new Hobbit movie the other day. I was incredibly disappointed.
What even is the new Hobbit movie? There's one every December. I haven't seen any of them.
Right, it's a trilogy.
Yeah, so it's over now, right? This is like the last one.
This is the last Middle-earth film that Peter Jackson said he's not going to make any more films based in Middle-earth after this.
Okay.
But it's the third movie in a trilogy, each movie being over 2.5 hours long, approximately. This one is a little shorter, but they're each that long, based on a 300-page children's book. And he tried so hard to make it as much of an epic and mature and dramatic and on the scale that the original Lord of the Rings movies were, and just failed miserably, in my opinion.
Now, are you saying this as a Lord of the Rings fan or just as a moviegoer?
I would say as both. I mean, I'm not a hardcore Lord of the Rings fan. I've seen the movies. I haven't read the books. But I do like Lord of the Rings. I know a bit about the lore because my friends are into them.
All right. There's always like a discrepancy between like the casual viewers and just the casual like movie viewers who just go to the movies because it's like Christmas time and they want to go with their families and new Hobbit movie, let's go watch that. There's always like a difference in opinion between the casual viewers and the more like hardcore Lord of the Rings fan who care about the lore, who care about the story, and they go to watch another like expansion of their beloved franchise.
You're right, there is. The thing is, even with the hardcore fans were probably most disappointed with it. This movie catered more to the casual fans.
So it was all around disappointment, but mostly to the hardcore Lord of the Rings
Exactly. In the second movie, like I enjoyed the first two movies mostly. I think I had fun with them. There are a couple I had, my problems with it, but they were fun movies. The last one was just a slog. I've forgotten what I was gonna say. I enjoy them. I like them. But this most recent movie was just terrible because they introduced entire plot lines and they invented characters that don't exist in Tolkien's universe, or Tolkien, I guess is the correct pronunciation. The love triangle between Legolas, who wasn't in the Hobbit books, it makes sense for him to be there, kind of, but I don't think he should have been given such a prominent role as he had. Tariel, and I think it was Keely, was her love interest. It was unnecessary. It was poorly written and acted. The scene in the end of the Battle of the Five Armies, I'm going to spoil it for you. Is that okay?
Yeah, here, go for it.
All right, so Keely dies and fighting or whatever, and Tariel finds him and she starts crying, and like I'm not quite sure who this guy was. He was like a higher up in the elf hierarchy or whatever, and he shows up, and earlier in the movie he had disparaged her for loving a dwarf, and she was like, why does it hurt so much? And earlier in the movie he was like, well, your love is not real, and he goes, because it was real. And I literally winced hearing that dialogue. It was so bad.
That just sounds so awful. That's almost as cringeworthy as in Transformer 4 when he's like, where's your warrant? My face is my warrant.
Yeah,
what?
like it's like Michael Bay level dialogue.
Like, it just sounds so cringeworthy. So I have a question though. This is the movie where everyone's like the CGI like gets progressively worse, right? Like the CGI apparently looks like really, really bad in this movie.
There's actually an entire character that's CGI for no reason. It's a dwarf character, and he has a voice and everything, and he interacts with characters that are actual human actors, but he's CGI.
Is it at least like a standby thing where they have like a guy in a green suit who is acting out the things, or is it completely CGI?
It feels like it's really weird because it feels like parts of him are CGI and parts of him are real. But it's super noticeable, like when he speaks, how CGI he is, and a lot of his movements feel very, very CGI.
All right.
understand it at all. And the CGI, it's so overused. If you go back and watch the original Lord of the Rings movies, in the battle scenes, you can tell that they use a lot of extras, they use a lot of practical effects and makeup and creative costumes, and it holds up. Like it feels authentic. The Orcai look fantastic. In the new movies, they didn't even try, really. They just CGI'd them. Ian McKellen actually broke down crying on set at one point because he was just standing in front of a green screen talking to nobody.
Really?
It's a travesty. Yeah. It's a travesty.
That...
And I'm gonna blow up if I talk about it anymore. So let's change topics because I'm done.
Yeah, okay. So let's just continue on the movie subject for a little bit. So, what did you think about the entire Sony leaks thing? Like, they leaked a lot of interesting information, and to me the most interesting one was the fact that everyone who worked on The Amazing Spider-Man 2 absolutely hated the movie. Like Sony Entertainment. What's the division of Sony that's movies? Sony Pictures, actually? It's Sony Pictures.
Columbia Pictures, I think.
All right. Like, everyone who works for Columbia Pictures absolutely hated Spider-Man 2. They knew The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was going to be bad. And yet they still released it in that state.
Which is so weird to me because I'm one of the few people that enjoyed that movie.
It's not a bad movie, to be honest, but it's so weird. It's the same problem I think you had with The Hobbit, where they introduced way too many storylines and too many plot devices that they tried to end in 2 minutes, into 2 hours.
The thing about The Hobbit was they invented plot lines for an established property.
Oh, I thought they just invented the characters.
I guess you could say they did that. They invented characters and they added extra plot lines just to fill out the movies because they wanted to make a trilogy out of a book that, probably could be made into maybe 2 movies. With Amazing Spider-Man, I mean, with superhero movies in general, they do create original stories, but they draw upon a lot of stories from the comics and established characters and stuff. Amazing Spider-Man 2, I didn't feel like it had too many plot lines and too many characters going on.
I enjoyed watching the movie, but I'm not sure if I would call it good. It's watchable, but I don't know. I think that was the most interesting thing for me in the Sony leak. Another interesting thing actually was the reveal that apparently Sony is gonna make a Men in Black with Channing Tatum and Jonah Hills from the Jump Street.
Yeah, there's going to be a Men in Black 21 Jump Street crossover.
Yeah, I'm actually very excited for that because I love Men in Black. It's probably my favorite Sony Pictures movie. And Jump Street, I've never seen 21st Jump Street, but I've seen 22nd Jump Street.
Yeah,
and
22 Jump Street was hilarious.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah, that movie had me laughing out loud several places.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, "How are you gonna make a movie out of this? It's stupid." And I'm like, "Nah, I'm excited. I want this movie made." I hope the leaks didn't kill it because I feel like Channing Tatum could totally fit into the Men in Black.
He totally could. He could be such a...
He's
I
a
feel
really
like
good
they
actor.
would have a great place there. Channing Tatum has surprised me with how good of an actor is. I mean, I even enjoyed Men in Black 3. Like, I love those movies.
I love Men in Black 3, to be honest. It was such a good movie.
It was great.
You can tell Will Smith and the other guy were kind of growing out of their characters, but still
Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Josh Brolin was the perfect choice for playing a young Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, that's the only reason I'm excited for this new crossover, because if they can, like I said, you can tell Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones were kind of growing out of their characters. So I'm so glad they're gonna try to expand the storyline and the thing by giving the jobs to new actors and new characters.
It's kind of like a soft reboot.
Yeah, I want it to be a reboot. I hope it's not a one-time thing where they just, it's over.
All right. Do you mind if I change topics?
Yeah. We spent about 10 minutes talking about movies. Let's talk about something else.
Okay, let me fill you in on what happened in France today.
Oh yeah, the France. It was some Islam terrorist group, right, that were angry about the cartoonist releasing a bunch of anti-Islamic comics, right?
It was a group of Muslim extremists who went into a French publication known for a satirical publication known for their comics mocking religion in general. They go after Jews, Christians, Muslims. They've gone after Muslims before. I guess this was just the breaking point for these extremists. And they killed 12 people in a meeting. They knew their names. They knew when the meeting was going to be. They came in and killed them over drawings. And it's just really surprising to me. Like, the fact that they got so offended over something that hurts them not at all, a pencil touching paper, that they would be willing to kill for it is insane, especially when the fact that there is an entire play making fun of Mormons in the United States, and Mormons actually go to see it and support it.
Yeah, I live in Utah. I am a Mormon. I'm part of the culture, and I've never actually met a Mormon that was offended or didn't like the Book of Mormon. And like when I say that doesn't like it, I have met people who are like, it's pretty dumb. I don't care for it. But I've never met anyone who's offended by it, who thinks it's like an act against our religion, who thinks it's inappropriate to be shown. Because people are like, oh, we don't have to watch it if we don't want to. People understand that just because they make fun of our religion doesn't mean we should be offended or we should act out against it or we should violate their freedom of speech and freedom of publication, that we should say you cannot perform this in California because we are offended by you. People understand that we're not allowed to do that it's not right.
Right, because it's arrogant. The concept of being offended by something someone else says is arrogant. It's saying you're putting your beliefs above their right to express themselves.
My opinion is more important than yours, and the fact that you offending me is more important than me oppressing your rights as an American or as a human being.
Exactly. Like being offended is fine. Like I can't make you not feel bad that someone said something that disparaged, your race or your religion or whatever. But acting out because of it and holding that person to something that they may not believe in or that they don't deserve is stupid. It's arrogant.
Yeah, you're free to feel offended and you're free to be mad, but you're not. I mean, you are free to ostracize someone. You're free to hate the person, but you're not free to act out and assault them or offend them back, or like not offend them back, but like insult them personally, like just write vile things about them and harass them and bully them. You're not free to do that. You're free to be offended, but you're not free to act out on it.
Exactly.
And I didn't know much about this Paris incident. Like, I've seen it on the news, but I haven't actually looked into it yet. I am surprised by how organized it was. You said that they knew when the meeting was taking place. They knew they knew the names of the victims. They knew what they were doing, right?
Yeah.
I'm surprised by how organized that was. I honestly, again, I haven't actually looked into it at all. I thought it was just like these extremists walked into the building and just shot at the first 12 people they saw. I am actually kind of disgusted by how organized that was.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Wow. So that's just disgusting.
Yeah, it's messed up. So do you want to change topics?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else we can say other than that was a disgusting display of humanity.
There's not much else to be said.
Yeah, that's just awful. All right, let's take a little turn for something a little more lighthearted since we just kind of talked about a more serious subject. Let's talk about video games.
I'm always down.
What's going on in the gaming industry right now that you want to talk about?
I actually had this discussion with my friend the other day, and how I wish that when things were done, they were just released.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
So, like you say, like, because games are done a month before the release. It takes about a month for them to be printed onto the disc and shipped to the stores and put on stand to be ready to be sold. Like, they have to organize it. Like, Halo 5 will technically be done around October 2nd, and it'll be released about November 11th. So you're saying you want the games to be on sale digitally the moment they're done? Or are you saying
Yeah, or I don't want them to announce a release date until they're finished, and then just release it when you're done with it.
I feel like that's counterproductive for the publishers because then it builds less hype. Like people get hyped up if they know the set date. And I actually think that's a great idea to release games as soon as it's done. But right now, since we're not at a fully digital market yet, the game industry is still very physical. I feel like they would be burning a ton of bridges with their with the brick and mortar stores that stock their games by doing that.
I don't feel like hype is a good thing though, because you get instances of things happening like Assassin's Creed Unity, where you have a development team or a publisher that has already sold what it needs to in pre-sales and pre-orders, and they've encouraged that with pre-order exclusives, so they don't feel compelled to finish the game before it's released because they've already sold what they needed to.
See, at this point, and I agree with you. As a consumer, I agree with you. Hype is a very bad thing. People getting hyped up for games only leads to disappointment, and it only leads to destinies happening over and over again. It leads to people putting blind faith into it. Like, I put my blind faith into Destiny. It's like, oh, it's Bungie. Bungie made Halo. They've never wronged me. I'm going to buy this day one. I'm going to buy, like, 50 copies. I'm going to love this game. And then I actually put it in. I'm just like, what? What?
Wow, this is mediocre.
Yeah, it's like, it was, honestly, it's a very bad game. Like, I don't care. I will say it, Destiny's a horrible game. I would never recommend it. So, as a consumer, I understand where you're coming from.
You think it's bad? It's straight up bad?
I think it's straight up bad. I think the things that are wrong with it outweigh the things that are good with it. If I had to name things that are good with it, I would just say the gunplay is solid. But that's it. Like, the gunplay is solid, but matchmaking is bad, multiplayer is bad, the RPG aspect of it is bad, the storyline is non-existent. The actual gameplay, I said gunplay is good, not gameplay. The actual gameplay is way too reliant on trial and errors and having to grind nonstop and just grinding the same 5 levels for like an hour, for like 24 hours to get what you want.
I feel like they added a lot of unnecessary stuff in there just to make it last longer.
That's exactly what they did because they know. Because if back in like 2012 when they leaked the contract of Activision, we already knew the game was gonna have like, okay, Destiny comes out 2013. The first major expansion is gonna come out 2014, September, a year later. And between that time, they're gonna release 2 DLCs that they're gonna sell for $40 together. So they're just padding the game with. They're not adding more content. They're just making it more repetitive, so people will still be playing in December when the Darkness of Crota or whatever comes out, and then back in March when the House of Wolves comes out, and then back in September when Comet 1 comes out. They're just padding the game so people are still hopefully playing and have the game in mind so they can sell more DLC. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it's a straight bad game.
Activision.
It sounds like a straight bad game, but so as a consumer, I understand why people are against typing up games. But if you think of it as a company, from a company standpoint, it increases sales. It increases the revenue and increases your profits. There's no way they would get rid of it. Like Ubisoft knows Assassin's Creed Unity is going to come out finished, but they're like, whatever. As long as we make as much as we can day one, we'll just fix it along the line, and people will still buy Assassin's Creed 7? Are we on 7 now? What are we at?
Let's see. We had
1, 2,
4 with Black
Brotherhood.
Flag, right? But it wasn't actually the straightest.
Yeah, like not counting canon.
Brotherhood 3.
3.
So that's
Revelations.
1, 2, Brotherhood 3. So that's 4.
Revelations is
Assassin's
4.
Creed Revelations.
3 was 5. 6 was Black Flag. 7 is Unity.
Liberation. Would you count Liberation?
No, I don't count the Vita games. I'm just talking to console.
Because Liberation got a Vita and
Unity is 7.
It's not a Vita. It came out on PS3 360 too. So we're on.
Well, it's an arcade game.
The 8th
so
Assassin's Creed game.
I don't know. 8, and don't forget Rogue for the Xbox 360 and the PS3. So 9.
Oh yeah, so 9 Assassin's Creed games.
So this is the 10th Assassin's Creed 10. So people they know people still buy Assassin's Creed 10, whatever they call it, Renaissance Fair, whatever.
Yeah.
So companies, they're just along the. And Ubisoft encouraged you to pre-order right away. Like they had a promotion where every week, if you pre-ordered the earliest you can, every week you'll get a spin at their website to win a lottery game. So they encourage people to pre-order the game like 9 months in advance to try to win a lottery. So they know what they're doing. They know what they're trying to do.
Yeah, and then there's less incentive for them to make a good game once they've made the money they want to.
But they don't care about making a good game. They care about making money. So as a company.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, That's the thing though. Like you set yourself up. You set yourself up for pushing out a mediocre product.
Yeah, but as long as they make the money, they honestly
Like it's
don't.
a good.
It's just bad. Like, I guess it depends on a rushed game. They would rather rush a game and release a bad game than take the time out of it and push it back and release it in a playable state.
Yeah,
If they didn't announce release dates and they worked on the game until they were satisfied with it, rushed games like Unity or Watch Dogs wouldn't exist.
yeah,
That's what I think would happen.
yeah, and I honestly think you're in the right boat. I think that's the preferable way this industry should work, but this companies won't allow that because if they don't announce the release date, people will just not get as hyped up as they would be. And yeah, it's like it. Honestly, I don't like pre-ordering culture. Like I say this, and I pre-ordered and paid off my Halo 5 Collector's Edition, and I don't even know what the statue looks like. I don't even know what the statue they're including with my Collector's Edition looks like. They just announced it like $250. Go pre-order now, please. It's like it'll include a high-quality statue that we can't show you a picture of right now. It's like, oh, okay. So I'm part
You're
of the
just buying
problem.
a promise.
Yeah, I'm buying a promise, and
Yep.
I only buy it because I have faith in because I have faith in the franchise. And that's the problem. People have way too much faith in what they're buying. It's like the people who buy new IPs only because, oh snap, it's being made by the guys who made Dark Souls, so I know Bloodborne would be good. It's the savior of the PS4 best exclusive of 2015. It's like, you have a little too much faith there.
You don't know anything about it.
I don't even know what Bloodborne is. I don't even
It's
know.
like
It's like a Dark Souls game made by the same team that made Dark Souls.
I don't know anything about it. Do you want to talk about Smash Bros?
Oh yeah. Oh, and by the way, speaking of Nintendo, actually, before we get onto the subject,
like amiibos and stuff.
yeah, before we get onto the subject of Nintendo,
Sure.
like what you were saying about like don't rush your game, I like to think back of the quote made by Miyamoto about how a good game, a delayed game is eventually good, a rush game is forever bad. I like that quote, even though like history has shown us it's not very
great
true because
philosophy.
companies will still patch and fix their games. I like that quote. I feel like Nintendo is old fashioned, but I like their fashion better. I like the way they release their games.
But they
I am
make good
confident.
games, so
Yeah,
that's what matters.
I'm confident in when I pre-order a Nintendo game. When I pre-order Smash Brothers, I'm like, I know this game's gonna be good. When I pre-order 3D World, it's like, I know this game's gonna be good. When I pre-order Mario Kart 8, it's like, I know this game's gonna launch perfectly.
Exactly. When you pre-order a Master Chief Collection, you're like, boy, I sure hope they don't mess up with the servers.
I honestly didn't think it'd be. I was honestly
And
100% sure the game would be flawless. I was so shocked. I'm like, what?
I can't believe they dropped the ball so hard.
He did.
That was bad. That was bad. See, if they had just taken their time with it, maybe it would have come out all right.
Yeah. So yeah, speaking of Smash Bros, how much do you love Smash Bros? Because I love it. I love it.
I haven't played it.
You have it?
Mm-mm.
Not even the 3DS version?
Nope.
Dude, it's such a fun game. You need to get on that. You have a Wii U, right?
I did, and I only recently got a 3DS. I got it like a week ago.
Smash 3DS is fun, but the Wii U version is the full experience. If you need to get one, you need to get the Wii U.
Oh, clearly. I buy that. The 3DS is for games like Kirby and Link Between Worlds and Pokemon. The Wii U is where you're gonna play Smash.
Yeah. Did you pre-order the Majora's Mask limited edition?
The limited edition of the game or the limited edition 3DS?
The game.
I have not pre-ordered it yet because
It's already sold out.
Is it
after one
really?
day. Yeah, like I don't know why Nintendo's the only company when they say limited, they're like, it's limited. Boom. It's gone after a day.
It gives it value, dude.
Yeah, it's like Microsoft's like, hey, here's a limited edition Halo 4 collector's edition. It's like still in store shelves like 2 years later.
They mean just
Or
like
Skyrim.
available for a limited edition of time.
Yeah, it's like I still see the Skyrim collector's edition at my GameStop and my Walmart for like $40 now.
Really?
Yeah, it's like this game is so old.
It's hilarious. Yeah, Skyrim's gonna turn 4 this year.
And it's still probably, like, I think in the top 5 most played games on Steam. That game has legs.
That game just has a good legacy. Like, it just has a lot of replay value.
Yeah. What do you think about amiibos?
I have never touched an amiibo. I've never seen an amiibo in person.
See, I own 4 amiibos. I own a Kirby amiibo, a Fox, a Yoshi, and a Pikachu. And I spent money. I spent like so far $48 on these things. But I'm only gonna buy the characters I like. So the next few ones I'm gonna buy. In total, I plan to own Falco, Lucina, Jigglypuff, and Bowser. I mean, not Bowser, Charizard, and Lucario. So I plan to spend like $100 on like 10 of these.
That's a lot.
And yeah, that's a lot. But it's like they're toys and they're useless. But I like having them around. I don't like having them enough though to collect all of them. Like there are people on NeoGAF who are trying to collect all 48 of them, and it's just like, really?
Would you really spend your money on that? How much are they a pop?
$12 a pop, unless you're Toys R Us, and they add like $1 extra. So, $12 or $13.
They're gonna spend almost $600 on amiibo figures.
Yep. So
Doesn't make any sense to me.
it's not as bad as the people who are on like, I really freaking need Little Mac, but he's so rare. I'm gonna go on eBay and I'm gonna freaking buy him for $50. All right, let me go on eBay and see how much like they're selling for right now. Like the rare ones. The rare ones right now are Villagers, Marth, and Wii Fit Trainer, and the new guys because they're not. So
where are there rare ones?
So stores are only stocking the popular ones that'll sell. So like if you go to any GameStop, any Toys R Us, or any Walmart, they'll for sure have Mario because he's such a popular character. They'll for sure have Link and Pikachu and Yoshi because they're popular characters.
Right.
When you get to the niche characters like Marth and Wii Fit Trainer and Lucina and Captain Falco and Pit and Villager, they're not as popular as characters, so they stock them a lot less. So there's two factors going in for why they're so rare. Companies aren't stocking them because, well, the hardcore collectors want them and need them. The rest of the crowd doesn't care about them. The rest of the crowd isn't like, oh my god, you know how badly I need my Duck Hunt amiibo? I need him right now. The majority of people aren't like that. They don't care. They just want Mario in their op. So there's the thing that they're not stocking them because they're not valuable to the store. So
are they manufacturing them at the same rate as the others?
No. They
Okay,
don't make
so
it. They
there's
make a
less.
lot more Marios than they do like Wii Fit Trainers.
Okay.
So that's factor one. Factor two, because people are starting to realize how rare they are. Now you have people who go out of their way to buy, like if they see Rosalina in store, they just buy all of them. They buy all like 10 they have, so they can resell them on eBay. Like there's a guy who bought 100 pre-orders for Rosalina just so no one else can they sell out the entire store.
That's messed up, actually. That's like,
I know.
that's unfair.
Alrighty, I'm going on eBay. I've never used eBay. I know there's a way to find listings that have already ended, right?
You think? I don't know, man. I don't know about all the secret hidden features of eBay. You'll have to tell me.
Sold listing. So, these are the ones that have sold recently.
Okay.
Someone sold Shulk, which is GameStop exclusive, for $57. Someone sold a collection of Wii Fit Trainer, Marth, Villager, Pit, and Captain Falco for $207. Someone sold Pit by himself for $34. Someone sold Marth for $130 by himself.
Oh, good lord.
So people are actually buying these things, and it's like, what?
I would not. But if it's worth it to you, then the purchase is worth it. Like, if you're satisfied with it, then
there's
the
a
money
level
you
of
spend is worth it.
unreasonableness that you can't just be like, well, if it's worth it to you, it's like, yeah, if an Xbox One is worth $3,000 to own like a special color one, is worth it to you. That's cool, but you're still wasting your money.
I guess so, but it's like up to if the person is happy with their purchase.
Well, no matter how happy you are, you still overpaid and you still wasted your money. Like, okay, someone sold Marth, Villager, Wii Fit Trainer, and Pit for $201. Together, this is 4 characters that cost $12. So they paid more. They paid $153 more than they should have.
Paid like 3 times as much
Yeah.
as they needed to.
That's only a $48 value that they paid like hundreds for it. Someone bought Rosalina by herself for $54.
Yeah. I see what you
Why
mean.
are people buying these
I
things?
wouldn't spend that money. I would not spend my money that way. But other people are free to do what they want with their money. I'm not going to really judge them too much as I disagree.
Dude. So, like, I honestly wanted Marv, but when I saw he was, like, I couldn't find him anywhere, I didn't care enough to go out of my way to find him. I'm just like, alright, whatever.
Marf. See, I don't even know these characters. I guess that's why they were in such little supply.
Yeah, like, that's why no one knows who these characters are. They're, like, so niche that, like, everyone's like, I don't care.
Yeah, you get it.
Man, apparently people are actually buying the white Xbox One for like a decent amount of money because they're like actually limited as well. This is the only time I think Microsoft's ever actually like it's limited, like, and was legitimately honest when they said it's limited.
I feel like there's a lot of limited edition Xbox 360s that you probably can't find now.
Yeah, I almost want to sell my white one. I don't want to sell my white one, but I have 2 right now and I don't need to because I'm not gonna move out for like another 6 months. I almost want to sell my black one. But like it only sells for like 300 at Craigslist. It only sells for like 200 at GameStop, and I'm too lazy to deal with eBay.
Dude, eBay is worth it.
No, I don't. How much do they even charge you, by the way, when they? How much do you need to give them for like allowing them to list your thing and selling it through their site? Like 10%?
Probably a little bit less than that. Usually it doesn't cost me anything at all. The most I've had to pay them was recently. I had to pay them about $15 for selling my Vita, and I sold it for like $155.
So 10%.
It's
not
but
that
I
bad. It's
don't
not that
usually
bad.
have to pay 10%. Usually it's more like $2 or $3 on something that I sold for like 80.
You sold your Vita then?
Yeah, I still got rid of my Vita finally, and I bought a 3DS with the money.
Nice.
3DS is a much better purchase. I'm so happy with it, to be honest.
I've had my 3DS for like 4 years, and I still have only owned like 2 games right now: Pokemon Omega Sapphire, So I own Pokemon Sapphire, and I own Super Smash Brothers. Before that, when I bought it in 2011, 2010, I only had 3D Land, which I sold after like a month because I got bored of it, and Pokemon X and Y.
Dude, you should get. Do you like Zelda games?
No.
Okay. Well, it's gonna suggest Link Between Worlds to you because I have been playing the crap out of it, and it's fantastic in my opinion.
Oh, aside from those 4 games, the only other 3DS game I ever bought was Kirby Superstar or Kirby 3D Ultra, whatever, Kirby Ultra Star, whatever it's called.
Triple Deluxe?
Yeah, it's like 3D. It's like it has 3D in the name.
Oh, well then that's a different. The new one is Kirby Triple Deluxe.
Yeah,
and
it's like that's
great.
3D. Triple 3 Deluxe D. Kirby 3D.
Oh, I never realized that.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
That's how I remember the name, even though I didn't remember it. But
it's
a fun game. I lost it.
It's-
I lost my copy at school. I brought it to school and I took out the card to play Pokemon with some friend. And it's like, oh snap, well, lost it.
Dude, I just love Kirby games because they're so chill.
Yeah, they're so fun. I can't wait for Kirby Epic Yarn or Kirby Rainbow Canvas, whatever. I can't wait
The
for
Rainbow
Yoshi
Curse.
Epic Yarn.
I'm not excited for that one.
Yoshi or Kirby?
I'm excited for Yoshi. I'm not excited for Rainbow Curse.
Rainbow Curse. It's gonna be a budget game. I think they're gonna sell for like $40 or $30.
The thing about Rainbow Curse is there's too much thing. I don't want to play entirely on the gamepad. I want to play on my screen. I don't want like the mechanic. The game is built around this mechanic, so it's fine. It's whatever. But I don't like the mechanic, so I won't enjoy the game.
All right. So it's been about 35 minutes. Should we end it now?
Yeah, I think I need to get some homework done or something.
Yeah, let's end it. So yeah, this is episode 1 of Dreaming Podcast. Thank you guys for watching.